Hello and welcome back to the Deep Dive.
Good to be back.
So today we're tackling something that, well, it sounds almost deceptively straightforward, doesn't it?
It really does.
We're looking at a rich source stack, but the core of it is essentially a basic English A1 language lesson transcript.
Right.
You know the kind. Describing daily routines. This one features two people, Paul and Emily.
And our mission really is to take this very fundamental text, not for the vocabulary, obviously, but to use it almost like a blueprint.
Exactly, a blueprint to map. Maybe not the entire human condition. That sounds a bit much.
Maybe a bit. But definitely to map the structure of a modern daily routine. We want to pull out the underlying sequence, the structure, the things that get prioritized. What does a 21st century day actually look like when you boil it down?
Yeah, finding the DNA of the contemporary routine, as it were. We've got this amazing list of verbs, specific actions, and we're going to walk through the day chronologically.
Sort of in cycles.
Right. We'll start with those crucial first steps in the morning, the launch pad, let's call it.
Okay.
Then we'll move through the workday structure, the engine room.
Makes sense.
And finally, we'll look at the evening unwind, the decompression cycle. And the idea is that by the end, you, the listener, should have a really functional, actionable map of how modern time gets carved up and spent.
It's like viewing the lesson, not just as language, but as a sequence of necessary instructions. If you want to do a modern day correctly, this text sort of lays out the required steps. It's fascinating to look at efficiency and time allocation as the real language being taught here.
I like that framing. Okay, let's dive in. All right, section 1, the morning blueprint, the launch pad. What strikes me first is how this whole segment feels like a checklist, you know?
Absolutely. It's sequential, non-negotiable steps just to get from zero being asleep to being ready for work, mostly.
It's all about that transition and doing it efficiently.
And that efficiency focus kicks off immediately with the timing, doesn't it? The source makes a point of the difference.
Yeah, Emily wakes up around 7:00. Seems pretty typical, right? Maximizing sleep before a commute or starting work.
Standard. But Paul, he's flagged specifically as the early bird.
6:30, half an hour earlier.
And that half hour, it's small, but it says a lot, doesn't it?
It really does. It's that choice. Maximum sleep versus carving out just a little bit of autonomous time before the day officially grabs you.
Paul's essentially buying himself 30 minutes. Maybe for focus, maybe just for quiet. Emily's optimizing the sleep. Both valid strategies, but different priorities right there at the start.
But regardless of 6:40 or 7:00, the first few actions are like rigidly fixed, universal.
Totally. The absolute starting point is wake up. Obvious, maybe.
But then, the source highlights this next bit as a very important phrase.
Yes. Get out of bed.
And emphasizing it like that is key, I think. It's not just standing up.
No, it's psychological. It's the commitment.
Yeah.
The moment you physically separate from the bed, the inertia is broken. You're in the day now.
It's like the first little win against just rolling over and hitting snooze again. The language lesson gets that. It marks the boundary.
Once that hurdle's cleared, it's straight into what you call the non-negotiable personal maintenance, preparing for human interaction, basically.
Exactly. The standard bathroom sequence. The source lists 3 actions, very common ones, it says.
Right, and in a clear order, too. First, go to the bathroom, then the cleaning bits, brush my teeth, and wash my face.
Labeled very common actions. It underlines that these aren't optional extras. They're the baseline for being presentable, for feeling ready.
It's the mandatory reset, from private self to public-facing self. More than just hygiene, it's like ticking boxes to confirm readiness. You can't really walk out the door effectively without doing this.
Okay, so personal cycle complete. What's next? Fuel, energy input.
Straight to the kitchen. The action is go to the kitchen and then make breakfast.
And this making breakfast part, it really shows how compressed the morning is. There's no time for anything slow or elaborate here in the examples.
No, we get really specific details, which are great. They basically define 2 common, super quick Western breakfast templates.
Okay, so Emily's choice.
Often coffee and toast. Sometimes she adds fruit, a banana, or an apple.
Classic functional mix, right? Caffeine hit, simple carbs for quick energy, minimal time cooking, minimal time eating, maximum efficiency.
Precisely. It's designed for yield over enjoyment almost.
And Paul, slightly different, but same principle.
Seems like it. He leans towards tea and some cereal.
Cereal, the ultimate convenience food. Just pour, add milk maybe, done.
Exactly. The source calls them simple and delicious, But the real takeaway, like you said, is they're quick, light, and don't require effort.
Yeah, it feels like there's almost this underlying guilt in the modern morning about spending too much time on yourself before work starts.
That's a good point. The function of this breakfast is speed. If they described, I don't know, making a full English breakfast or pancakes.
Right, that would imply a whole different pace of life, a lot more time available. Toast and cereal signal efficiency above all.
Which leads logically to the next step, getting ready to face the outside world.
Presentation. The action is get dressed, putting on clothes, shifting into the work self or public self uniform.
It's that clear line between inside and outside, private and public.
And then the final layers for actually going outdoors.
Specifics again? Put on my shoes, and then outerwear. Emily might put on her coat, Paul maybe a jacket. The final barrier between the home environment and the world.
The last physical and maybe psychological step before you're out there.
And this whole tightly packed sequence culminates in that final move.
Yeah.
Leave the house and go to work.
But here's where it gets interesting and very contemporary. The source acknowledges the hybrid reality.
Yes, Emily's straightforward. She goes to an office, traditional commute.
But Paul, he notes he sometimes works from home.
Right, but also sometimes goes to the office.
That detail, even in a basic A1 lesson, is huge. It means the fundamental script of a normal day now has to include remote work as a standard possibility.
It's not an exception anymore. It's built into the blueprint. And that changes things, right? On the days he works from home, the put on shoes, put on coat, leave the house sequence, it might not happen.
Yeah.
Or it happens differently.
So that morning launchpad, that blueprint, it's incredibly tight. Wake up, commit, get out of bed, maintain bathroom, fuel quickly, present, get dressed, then exit or log on.
It's a machine designed for rapid deployment into the productive part of the day.
Okay.
Okay, so launch sequence complete. Now we're into what you call the engine room, the core working day.
Yeah, and this part feels highly structured too, but in a different way. It's about focus, specific tools, and these clear transition points that really dominate the bulk of the day.
And the first thing that jumps out is the shared foundation. Regardless of location, Paul at home sometimes, Emily in the office,
What's that?
the posture and the tool. Both sit at their desk and use their computer.
Ah, right. That's it, isn't it? The fundamental physical setup for so much modern work. Desk, computer, that's the station, that's the machinery.
It's the entry requirement for participating in large parts of the modern economy. That's the baseline. But then, the specific verbs describing what they do on the computer, they diverge a bit.
Okay. How so?
It gives us a glimpse into maybe two different flavors of modern productivity. Let's call them coordination versus content creation.
Interesting. Let's start with Emily in the office. Her routine sounds very administrative, collaborative.
I think so. It's very focused on managing information flow. She has to answer emails and write reports.
Standard corporate tasks, right. Keeping communication moving, documenting things. System maintenance, in a way.
Exactly. And crucially, she also has to have meetings with colleagues. The source even defines this simply as people getting together to talk about work.
Huh. Basic but accurate.
It points to that classic structure: communication, documentation, coordination. Emily's core verbs, emails, reports, meetings, they're the language of team-based knowledge work. Her job is managing the flow, recording outcomes.
And what's really striking is how universal that set of verbs is. Answer emails, write reports, have meetings. I mean, that covers a huge percentage of modern desk jobs, doesn't it?
It really does. If you're in an office environment, chances are you're doing some combination of those things. It's the operational core.
Okay, so that's Emily's coordination-heavy role. What about Paul, working sometimes from home? How do his verbs differ?
They shift, subtly, more towards generating something new. He still uses the computer at his desk, but his focus might be to write articles or prepare lessons.
Ah, so more about creation. Producing content or educational material, rather than managing ongoing processes.
Seems like it. His output is maybe more self-contained, focused on creation, teaching, less about immediate back-and-forth coordination, perhaps.
And his meetings reflect the sometimes from home aspect too, right?
Exactly. He specifically mentions having online meetings, so the function coordination is still there, but the tool adapts to the remote environment.
So the core needs output and coordination, they persist in both models, home or office. But the type of output and the tools for coordination might differ slightly.
Yeah, and it almost feels like the source suggests, maybe unintentionally, that working from home lends itself more to that deep, focused individual creation.
While the office drives the necessary collaboration and admin.
Potentially. It's a neat little dichotomy presented here. And between them, Emily and Paul's verbs give you a pretty solid vocabulary for describing most digital work structures today.
Okay, so this intense focus, whether creating or coordinating, it doesn't just go on uninterrupted all day. There's a key break.
The lunch break, yes, a structural necessity. The action is simply have lunch, usually around lunchtime.
Even the phrasing around lunchtime suggests it's a defined slot, fitting into the broader industrial rhythm, a pause dictated by the clock.
And Paul's choices for lunch, much like his breakfast, they tell a story.
What does he have?
Often a sandwich or a salad. And the source adds the description something light.
Something light. Again, efficiency. Function over indulgence. You choose fuel that won't make you crash afterward.
Exactly. You want to maintain cognitive clarity for the afternoon session.
Yeah.
It's not about a leisurely feast. It's about functional refueling.
Is the source just reflecting reality here, or is it subtly setting a standard? Like, we should be having light, functional lunches.
That's the question, isn't it? I suspect it's reflecting the pressures of modern work. That language, something light, it implies a conscious choice against anything that might slow down the afternoon's output. The break is maintenance.
Right. And Emily's approach to lunch, it covers the logistics,
Yeah, she represents the two main strategies. Sometimes she'll bring my lunch from home.
which is about planning, cost saving, maybe dietary control, convenience,
Or the alternative, she'll go out to eat.
which isn't just about food, is it? It's often about the change of scene, getting away from the desk, physically leaving the engine room for a bit.
A mental reset, yeah. A brief escape before plunging back in.
And that plunge back is explicit. The source notes the action, go back to work.
Clear demarcation. The break is over, productivity resumes, mandatory resumption until the end of the day.
The rhythm is strict. The engine keeps running until quitting time. Okay, the workday clock finally hits the end. This signals a really big shift, doesn't it? Into the evening unwind, the decompression cycle.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the very first action captures that shift perfectly. Go home, the source even adds a great feeling.
That acknowledgement of relief, that's so central, I think. The release from the structure, the demands.
It's a transition back into personal time, self-directed activity, away from mandatory output back to, well, yourself.
And once home, what's the immediate impulse according to our blueprint?
Initial relaxation, and it's characterized by two very common, very passive activities.
Let me guess, sofa and screen.
You got it. Relax on the sofa and watch TV.
Described as nice and relaxing, it's the instant off switch, isn't it?
Totally. After hours of focus emails, reports, articles, whatever the brain needs, minimal input, sofa, TV, passive consumption, it's a necessary buffer before you engage with anything else.
Just letting the mental engine cool down.
But that passive phase can't last forever. Reality intrudes. Survival needs, domestic needs.
Right. So the next critical phase kicks in. Sustenance and cleanup.
The required action, cook dinner.
And the details here again give us some nice little insights into modern approaches to evening meals. Paul first.
Paul keeps it simple, reliable. He likes to cook pasta or maybe a simple soup.
Quick, comforting, low effort, minimizing time spent on chores in that precious evening window. Functional fuel again, maybe?
Seems likely. Whereas Emily, she's presented a bit differently here.
How so?
She also likes to cook, but the source notes she sometimes tries new recipes.
So for her, it's not just a chore, it can be a leisure activity, a bit of creativity exploration.
Exactly. It shows that dual role evening cooking can have. For Paul, it looks primarily functional. For Emily, it can be functional and a hobby, a form of self-development tucked into a necessary task.
That's a great example of how people use that same block of time differently. One optimizes for speed, the other finds enjoyment or growth within the task.
But whether it's simple soup or a new recipe, one thing is unavoidable afterwards.
The cleanup, the reality check.
Yep. Both mention the need to wash the dishes.
And here we get that little moment of shared humanity, that friction.
Right, they both agree. Not my favorite activity, but it has to be done.
The universal tax on eating at home, it grounds the whole evening routine. You can relax, but you still have responsibilities. Domestic maintenance is non-negotiable.
It has to be factored in. So, okay, dinner's done, dishes are washed, functional tasks complete. Now what?
Now we move into, let's say, more intentional leisure, activities that require a bit more engagement than just zoning out in front of the TV.
Okay, what is the source list?
First, quiet, solitary focus. Read a book.
Nice. Intentional downtime. Shifting away from screens, maybe. Engaging a different part of the brain. Restorative.
Then essential connection time. Talk to my family or talk to my friends.
Critical. Relationship maintenance.
Huh.
Consciously scheduled into the evening, acknowledging it's necessary for well-being. Not just letting it happen, but making time for it.
Paul also adds a couple more specific activities to his routine.
Oh yeah, like what?
He sometimes goes for a walk, noted specifically as good exercise.
So introducing some gentle physical activity into the wind down, counteracting the sedentary workday.
Or, alternatively, he might listen to music, and he specifies something relaxing in the evening.
That's interesting. It's active selection for a desired state, not just any music, but relaxing music.
Yeah.
A conscious effort to calm the system before sleep.
Yeah, it highlights that difference between active wind down, a walk, and passive but still intentional wind down, relaxing music. Both are about managing that end-of-day energy.
Consciously downshifting, not just crashing. Preparing for rest.
Okay, so we're nearing the end of the day. The final steps. There's a repeat from the morning.
Let me guess. Brushing teeth.
You got it. Brush my teeth again. Called a good habit. It bookmarks the day.
Creates that loop. Dental hygiene as the mandatory start and end point of the conscious day.
And then the final closure. Go to bed.
The end of the line for the day's script.
And we get one last timing comparison, which again tells us about their priorities.
Paul, the early bird.
Aims for 10.30 or 11:00, consistent with his early start.
Protecting his sleep window. And Emily.
She started later, so she goes to bed a little later, around 11:30.
Makes sense. That final timing choice dictates the total sleep duration and also sets the boundary on how much evening leisure time was actually available.
Yeah, the clock rules everything, right up to the very last moment.
No.
So when we pull back and look at everything we've extracted from this, well, this simple language lesson, it's not just a few phrases. It's a whole structured inventory of the modern daily rhythm.
It really is. And this final section in the source material is all about consolidating that, giving you, the listener, that complete list of actionable verbs as the main takeaway.
But it's more than just a vocabulary list to memorize, isn't it? Seeing them all together shows the sheer volume of steps involved.
Absolutely. It's the map of the day's cognitive and physical load. We walk through it chronologically, but just listing them out, it highlights the density. Let's quickly recap that inventory, thinking about the cumulative weight.
Okay, morning launch pad. We had, at least 10 distinct foundational actions, all crammed in early.
Let's see. Wake up, get out of bed, go to the bathroom, brush teeth, wash face, go to the kitchen, make breakfast, have breakfast, get dressed, put on shoes, put on a coat, leave the house, go to work. Okay, maybe more than 10, depending how you group them.
Wow, yeah. Before maybe 8 or 9 a.m., you've already executed a dozen or so major instructions.
Then the work engine room. Dominated by that digital focus, the output and coordination demands.
Right. Sit at my desk, work on my computer, answer emails, write reports, have meetings, in person or online, maybe write articles, prepare lessons, and the structured break. Have lunch.
The sheer density of actions there just confirms how much energy gets channeled into screen time and professional tasks.
And finally, the evening decompression cycle, actions for recovery, connection, and home maintenance.
Let's list those. Go home, relax on the sofa, watch TV, cook dinner, wash the dishes, the necessary evil. Read a book, talk to family, talk to friends, maybe go for a walk, listen to music, brush teeth again, and finally go to bed.
That whole inventory. It shows that even the most basic description of a normal day relies on this large, predictable, sequential set of verbs.
The total count is huge. And recognizing this structure is powerful. If you miss a step, or one step takes way longer than planned, you feel it, right? The whole sequence gets disrupted. It's like a complex operating system for living. And the A1 lesson basically gave us the functional code.
Okay, so this isn't just an academic exercise in analyzing routines. It's meant to be practical. The source itself gives advice on how you can use this.
Yes, direct application advice for the learner. They explicitly say, use these phrases to talk about your own day.
Simple instruction. Think about your day, morning to night, and try to narrate it using these English phrases.
Which forces you to move from just passively understanding the structure to actively applying it, internalizing it. It's not just about knowing the words brush teeth, but knowing where that fits in the sequence of your day.
Retelling your own story using this blueprint.
And they get tactical about how to practice too. They recommend writing it down.
Why writing specifically?
Well, the source suggests it helps you remember the words and phrases better. And that makes sense, right? It activates another pathway. The physical act of writing reinforces the mental structure. It helps solidify it.
Good point. From listening to speaking to writing, layering the reinforcement.
And then there's the mindset advice, which is crucial, really, for tackling any new system, whether it's a language or managing your own time better.
What's the core message there?
Be patient with yourself.
Yeah.
And celebrate your progress, however small it feels.
The classic learning advice, but important.
Absolutely. Learning any new system, a language, a new routine, analyzing your own habits, it takes time and practice. Acknowledging that is key. Don't expect perfection overnight.
So essentially, we've used this beginner's transcript to pull out a really detailed, actionable map of modern daily life. We've seen the priorities laid bare: efficiency, digital work, structured relaxation.
Yeah, looking back at the source through this lens, it really reveals how, even when our days feel chaotic, there's this underlying predictable structure. It shows very clearly how our limited time gets divided up.
Between the personal upkeep, the intensive work block, and then that necessary winding down for restoration and connection.
Precisely.
So for you listening, you now hopefully have a clearer picture of that full sequence, those specific actions that build the foundation of a typical modern day. You've got the launch, the engine, the unwind.
But here's the thing. The source material, Paul and Emily's day, it defined the established actions, the things they do, the predictable script.
Right, the baseline.
So this brings us to a final thought, maybe a challenge for you. As you look at your own day through this kind of blueprint we've just mapped out,
Yeah.
think about that inventory.
Okay.
Where in your own routine could you maybe intentionally swap one of those established actions? Maybe you swap 30 minutes of passive TV watching, or maybe you consciously delay checking your work emails first thing.
And replace it with something else, something new. Maybe something more challenging or more restorative or more creative.
Exactly. What if you made one intentional substitution in that chain of actions?
How would that single shift, that one different choice, potentially change your entire daily narrative? How might it restructure things, even in a small way?
That's something to mull over.
Yeah.
That's the power, maybe, of seeing the structure so clearly laid out. You understand the current system, and then maybe you could start tweaking it with more intention.
A provocative thought indeed. Go forth and map your day, maybe even rewrite a small part of it.
We'll be here next time for another deep dive.